Hello and welcome back to the Bachelor Sims 4 edition. We are finally at the hometowns portion of our season, and I'm going to do things a little bit differently. We are obviously down to our top three girls. We have Athena, Jasmine, and Mia. And the way that I'm going to do things is, oh no, oh no, we have Athena attacking Mia over here. I swear. Mia, poor Mia. She's like, I feel like I'm the only one that hasn't lost my mind. You and Jasmine have both been melting down since the last, since Hannah's date, really. And obviously, Hannah's gone now. We have Mia, Jasmine, and Athena. Anyway, the way that I'm going to do hometowns is each girl will get her own episode, and instead of separating hometowns and fantasy suites, I'm going to do one right after the other. So each girl will take him to meet her family and show him around her hometown, and then immediately following that, if the date goes well, they will have fantasy suites. There will be an elimination after each girl has had their fantasy suites with our bachelor so that we can narrow it down to the final two. The girls also will not be living together anymore starting this week. This is basically their goodbye, their final time hanging out together at the bachelor mansion before each girl goes to her hometown, to wherever she's going to meet the bachelor for the hometown dates. So the girls are just kind of chatting, a little bit making nice. I feel really bad about Athena and Mia in that whole situation because they truly became best friends while in the house. But then Athena just really had a jealous meltdown, and Tyler himself had a jealous meltdown about Athena and Mia. And so I think she got a little scared and a little spooked at this point. She didn't want him to think she wasn't serious. And yeah. So Jasmine has just found out that she is going to be the one going on the first hometown. And Athena is showing Mia. She's like, okay, it looks like you'll be next and I'll be the last one. But Mia isn't really, she's kind of salty about Athena and Tyler, causing the breakdown of her best friendship because that is something she valued. And, okay, so so Jasmine has just had a little surprise. And she is remembering her one-on-one date she had with Tyler at the Love Motel. They did some cloud gazing, they had drinks, they enjoyed a little time at the pool. Jasmine never wanted the date to end, and neither did he. So whenever he suggested they extend the evening, she agreed. And it looks like that may change the path of Jasmine's life forever. Now they are on their hometown date, and Jasmine is preoccupied to say the least. She's a little stressed. She's a little bit, maybe a little shorter than she would usually be. And she's also stressed about the fact that she can't take him home to meet her family. So she told him, she's like, since I don't have, my parents aren't alive for you to meet, I wanted to bring you somewhere that really means a lot to me. So for Jasmine's career, she is a conservationist, and she basically followed in the footsteps of her mother. Her mother was also a conservationist, and that's how her mother and father met. And so Jasmine, she wants to introduce him to her pet tiger, Raja, and also to the other animals in her menagerie. She has a rescue, a little sanctuary. She works to protect endangered species, and she really wanted to share this part of her life with Tyler because it's very important to her. And she told him, she's like, my home life is a little complicated, but and I can't introduce you to my friends, my family. But I wanted to introduce you to Raja. I've had him for years. He is, my best friend, my little animal best friend. And Tyler knows this is pretty important. If Raja doesn't like him, then that's probably going to be a pretty big strike against him for Jasmine. And he's correct, but thankfully Raja is a fan. Raja likes him. So Tyler's feeling a little better, feeling pretty good
Oh,
about
wow.
himself, and he's ready
Dummies for
to
Pater.
get on with their
I
date.
could be succeed.
He really likes Jasmine. Their relationship was the last one to warm up, but
Chibi.
oh no, okay. And so poor Jasmine, she was having a little snack. She had some
Oh,
popcorn
Ah,
and it did not set well.
ah.
And he's like, are you
Chowder
feeling
pames.
okay or do you need
Bisi
medicine?
babu.
And she's like, no,
Ah,
no, I'm fine.
yes.
I'm fine. And
and
she
you
really
be
hasn't
Michael
decided,
Cera?
this is news to her.
You be dumb
She
say
realized
one.
last week that maybe she was a little short tempered
Wait up,
whenever
dumb
the Hannah thing went
Sweebagama.
down. Like she got in a fight with Mia at the rose ceremony. And now that she realizes why she has been a little extra moody and maybe not feeling so well, uh, she she's afraid to tell him because on one hand, she just found out and she kind of wants to share, but she's also afraid that if she does tell him, how would she ever know that he chose her for her, you know? So she's just trying not to focus on it. And she told him, "Hey, you know what? Why don't I show you what it's like when I'm working here? Why don't I show you like a day in the life and what it's like to work at this little animal sanctuary?" And he's game. He's like, "Yeah, of course. I would love to see a day in your life." So she is cleaning up around the sanctuary. She is coming in here to feed the little birds. They are endangered in her land, and so for my purposes, Tomarang and Oasis Springs are in the same country, so they're just like different parts of the same place,
Reputation
and that's where
Magra.
Jasmine's from.
Grinoy
And right now they're in the
Queen.
Tomarang part, which is like
Kaba
the
Kaba
jungle part.
Pomeray Glass.
There's also more of a desert area, which she has been a little bit reluctant to go to, but Tyler has a little surprise for her because he doesn't realize that. So he has a little surprise for her after this date. And he is just, he's like, I can't believe her pet is a tiger. That is crazy. And he made a little donation to the sanctuary, and now they are leaving the menagerie where her little pet Raja and her birds and all that are. And he's giving her a nice steamy little kiss here. He's like, I wanted to thank you for, showing me something that's really important to you and welcoming me into this part of your life and sharing it with me. And they are now going to another one. So Raja is her pet, and that's the only reason he was in this menagerie. There is actually a separate tiger sanctuary. That's where Jasmine's mother worked. She actually was one of the people who helped found it.
Okavi.
And
Sabi
then
Shu
Jasmine went on to
Kaguri.
work there herself when she got
Nasa
older. Tyler
Watanabe.
tells her that he thinks that's really
Sakula.
cool and that's a really
Jessene Funkas
admirable thing to
Rabana.
do with her life.
Floopy.
And
Bilbar.
he
Oh, and
he kind of wants to know,
Boraha.
he was happy to meet Raja, and he adored Raja. Raja was great, but he was
Sure.
wondering, how come I'm not getting to
Sila.
meet any of your friends from around
Nisa
here?
Paba.
And also,
Dumpila.
it kind of seems
Wujiji.
like she doesn't want to be here,
Shibihi.
and so the affection that she
Wufixima.
has for her home
Polargus
and the
Sahudi.
animals and the difference that
Sensor
she's been
Saturip
making, it's not
Murbar.
really totally adding up for
Latsaganski
him,
Bar.
that she doesn't feel
Zonksapinarp.
comfortable bringing him here,
Helkadefate.
and it makes him wonder if the
Ea
problem is him.
Hoopatu.
And she doesn't feel comfortable bringing him to her home. So maybe she's not ready to open up to him all the way. And he has been very understanding about Jasmine being guarded, but now they're kind of out of time.
Nina.
They're at the end of this journey. He will be bringing someone home to meet his family soon, and he doesn't want to feel like the person he's bringing home is someone he doesn't
Serapi.
know pretty much all the way and that he's not pretty sure about because he's taking this very seriously. He wants
Zapumpa
this
Bang.
experience to
Amina.
end in marriage.
Rabani.
He wants to find his wife here,
Buhan.
and he feels like his wife would feel comfortable enough with him to open up, or if not comfortable, she would push past that discomfort and she would open up to him and invite him all the way in, and she would just feel um, safe enough to tell him whatever it is that Jasmine has lurking in her past. And Jasmine,
Ah.
she's very guarded, and he's been very understanding about that, but he's reached his limit with being understanding about that, and he really likes her and he really cares about her. But if Jasmine can't open up to him all the way on this date,
Oh.
then he's not extremely optimistic about the chances of them lasting forever. And he wants forever. He wants to get married, he wants to start a family, and he wants to find the right person to do all of it. And Jasmine, she doesn't know that he feels that way. And of course, she is caught up in her own kind of stuff. You know, her world is spinning and upside down right now, and things that he doesn't know she's dealing with. And that's kind of the problem, is it's not just the news she got today, it's her past too. It's the same kind of thing. Whenever
Wonder boy,
Jasmine has
Yamamala.
a tough
After
situation to deal
Smithy.
with, she tends to
Pinoy
deal with it on
boyfriend.
her own. And while he likes Jasmine, that isn't really something he's looking for in a wife. He wants a partnership. He wants someone who is going to go through things with him and
Wadisa.
not leave him out.
Snarla.
So while he
Washinay.
likes Jasmine and he thinks, she's a lot of fun and they have a great time together, he
Bimasaflinay.
is a little worried about her inability to open up to him completely. And he is trying. I mean, they're emotionally connecting and they're having a great date and a great moment, and he's excited to spend more time with her, but at the same time he does have reservations and he does have doubts because he worries that he can't get all the way there with Jasmine and they don't have much time. But right now, he feels that their relationship is the strongest it's ever been, so he's hopeful and he is
Oh,
eager to see what the rest of the date holds for
Yachimel.
them. And Jasmine is
Oh,
excited too,
Levine,
but
Falanan.
she's also a little nervous because just being in her homeland is very stressful for her. And that's another reason that she's having a hard time completely letting go, and why he can probably sense something's off is she's very worried about something going wrong, and she's always kind of looking over her shoulder, and he's like, what's that about? And now here they are in Oasis Springs, and now she is feeling totally sick to be here. She is like, I don't even know if it's like morning sickness, but I'm very nervous about being in Oasis Springs. We're
Oh,
really close to the
Yatavel.
palace. And he's like, yeah, the palace, it's really pretty, it's really cool, isn't it? And she's like, yeah, yeah, so cool. Um,
Oh,
so cool. But if you'll excuse me,
Bimasaflinay.
I think I need to run to the
Oh,
bathroom real quick.
Sar Papa
And
Basinjab.
he's kind of like, okay, yeah, that's
Kisana.
fine. Clearly,
Wambe.
she hasn't been feeling very well today to begin with, so he thinks it's that. But honestly, her nerves are a bit of a wreck. Being here, being at this place that she's been before, she's so close to the castle, she could see it if she just looked beyond the trees. And he doesn't really know why that makes her anxious, but of course he doesn't, because Jasmine doesn't like to share. Jasmine is not big on opening up and vulnerability. That is not her thing. But they are here and she's trying really hard to enjoy the date. She she's still she's feeling very anxious about being here, but she's trying to make the best of it. And they have obviously this beautiful little waterfall at this is called the Three Wishes Pool. I downloaded it from their gallery. It was Tommy Lynn YT for YouTube. She has a whole Disney save, and this is one of the lots in her save. But I downloaded it individually from the gallery for the little date today. And she and Tyler are talking, having a little chat, but he can tell she's not altogether comfortable. And he thought, it's later, the sun's going down, because it is pretty hot here. They're in the desert now. And he's like, I thought maybe you weren't feeling well because it's pretty hot here. Maybe you were having like heat stroke kind of feelings. Maybe that's why you've been feeling kind of crappy all day. And she's like, oh no, I'm used to it. I'm used to the heat. I was born here. I'm accustomed to the climate. It's just, and then, she doesn't really tell him the problem, but he is going to make the best of it. He still wants to do the fantasy suites with her. He feels enough of a connection with her to obviously see it through and finish their little fantasy suite so that they can have that one-on-one time together to really get to know each other a little bit better and see how they mesh, see how they are compatible and like their chemistry and everything. And he knows they have chemistry. I mean, they have a pretty steamy, physical, like affectionate relationship.
Okay.
But he does want to spend the night with her. He has questions. And hey, you never know. Maybe spending that one night talking and getting to know each other behind closed doors and being able to really spend the whole evening together, because when they have a date, they're on limited time and they're kind of on
Sí, sí.
camera. And so having a little bit of time together to hopefully clarify and hopefully give that little push for her to open up the rest of the way so that he could see if they can get there. And I cannot get these little children to go away. So Jasmine was anxious about that guy who was watching them. She felt like he's been watching them, and so Tyler asked him to leave. And she really liked that. She really appreciated that. She's like, that was really attractive. I like that. And now he is asking her, he's like, listen, I would love to spend the night with you. If you would like to stay together tonight and do the fantasy suites date, I would very much like that. And she's like, yeah, I would like that as well. I'm game. Let's do it. Um, let's spend the night together. And yeah, they're very excited. Excited for their little fantasy suite date. So here they are at their room. They actually, in Tomering, she didn't want to stay in a hotel. So he rented a little rental place for her, like a rental house for them to stay at for tonight. And so they're in this little rental home, and this is their little bedroom. He's out here telling her, I've had a really nice date. I've had a really nice time. I really like you. And I hope you feel the same way. She's like, I feel the same way. And yeah, now they are going to get to the woohooing portion of their little fantasy date. Although obviously, they did have a little early woohoo on their one-on-one date before. So that's why I said that their physical connection is set. They're all good there. They have no problems with the physical chemistry part of their romantic relationship. The problem is more the emotional connection for them. It's that, they go out and they have a lot of fun together, but they just don't have the closeness that he's looking for. And so he's hoping that, the last time that they had an not overnight, it wasn't quite an overnight date. They stayed out until like the middle of the night, but he had to run to the bathroom. But they didn't have a whole overnight date before, but they had just stayed at the hotel late and then they went home. But now this time they got to actually spend the night together. They got to wake up next to each other the next morning, and he's like, she's like, hey, you're not leaving so soon, are you? And he's like, no, of course not. I mean, if you want me to stay a little bit longer, I can stay. And I thought they would have a little breakfast before he left, but I think they are interested in spending their time a little differently. So it is a little bit later now, still morning. He needs to get out of here because he has another hometown date to get to today. And Jasmine is thinking about her little secret, and he was talking to her about the family he wants to start last night, and she's like, he doesn't know it and I haven't told him yet, but we've kind of already done that. And she is still on the fence and conflicted about telling him. On one hand, she wants to because she wants him to go into this elimination with all the information, but she also feels really good about their connection right now. And she's honestly kind of not worried about it because she thinks, you know what? I think he is going to pick me. I think that this is the man I'm going to marry. So she doesn't even think she needs to tell him. And he is leaving now. He has to go to his next date, and the next date will be with Mia in Nordhaven, where he will meet her mother and her sister. And yeah, that is it for this episode. So I will see you next time, and we will see what he and Mia get up to. Thanks for watching.